the question of looks. One of the things that is said is that you have international looks. Longines, is that what they call it? The watch
Longines,
company?
yeah. Longines, yeah.
I got it right now. Now, Longines chooses you as their brand ambassador. We've all seen that picture, and we've all admired that picture. But it's not a classical Indian face. And Longines will not use a classical Indian face.
They did. In fact, at one point, they did do one Indian bridal picture, which went down very well with the people.
But yours is not the usual Indian bridal picture. You know, usually an Indian face would have been like a
It's very interesting you say this because look at the roles I've essayed. Listen, Subhashji used to joke and say this. He says, having come from the modeling world, having come from the beauty pageant and all of that, and apparently because of light eyes, light hair, supposed fair skin, people would have imagined
I bet people say they're too slim to be in Hindi cinema. Do people say that?
I have to jog my memory, I don't remember. But there was this whole thing of, okay, apparently looking Western, but the Subhash used to joke and say, ye to bas Western packaging of an Indian soul hai. Because if you see the kind of roles I have, tilted towards, have been very strongly Indianized. Right from Iruvar. I mean, you look at Iruvar, you look at all three Tamil films, you look at the Bengali films. So all the regional cinema, I've done very, very Indian roles. I'm not saying that in their cinema they don't have Western characters. Of course they do. And even in Hindi films, okay, Aur Pyar Ho Gaya was a typical commercial film. It's like your show reel when you're joining movies. But when it came to Aab Lord Chale, my second film, was the more Indianized character in the film, the girl next door. When it came to Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, I mean, you couldn't get more Indian than that. So early in my career, in fact, I was doing the sari-clad roles,
so
and the very, very Indian
sort of... You would have always been the NRI.
Well, those were the options of the scripts offered. But invariably, I mean, in fact, at that time, a lot of the industry types and, the media would turn around and say, Ki, are you sure you're like already doing these very mature Indian sari-clad roles? Don't you think this should come like a little later in your career? And I'd be like, I like the character, I like the film as a whole, and I'd love to be a part of it. I mean, I'm not looking at apparently sticking by these safe routes to take during my duration here as an actor. I'm just happy to do cinema, and if I'm getting this now, then why should I, as opposed to what was apparently like almost conventional, where people kind of 8 years would be doing other regular commercial cinema, and then you kind of tilt towards these kind of roles. And I'd be like, no, if I'm getting it so early in my career, I'm happy to do so. And a lot of my roles are very Indian characters.
But you are now becoming international, Do you see yourself as our first genuine crossover star?
I have just done
Star.
I don't know. I mean, all these adages are there, but I am not the first. Technically, and we all know that. I mean, thank you very much for according me that.
No, but at this level, a lot of people do a little bit here and there, but
But again, see, I've just done one English film, and until I do more, let's hold our horses right there. But I've done one English film, and my first English film, again, I'm playing an Indian character. I'm playing an Indian character in Bride and Prejudice, belonging to an Indian family. I'm a Punjabi girl, Lalita.
And Madam Tussauds, that's very international.
Oh, but there too, I have decided to be in a sari. You see that, because I am very proud to be Indian, and I like the fact of, I mean, this whole idea of even working in the West. It's not in pursuit of greener pastures. So I'm not looking at becoming this international.
But cinema and art are now becoming international things.
The world is becoming smaller. There's a lot of exchange in all areas.
So many Hollywood movies are being dubbed in Hindi.
Exactly.
I'm sure they're being dubbed in regional languages as well.
Exactly. There is a lot more world awareness about our culture, about us as a people, and I'd just be happy to contribute to strengthening that. I mean, and I've said this in several interviews, and I keep reiterating, because I want people to definitely recognize.
So if your international thing picks up, do we stand the danger of losing you?
No, none of you asked when I did the Tamil film or when I did a Bengali film, so I don't see any reason why that should change.
Hollywood is different, because you have to be there.
These are perceptions, not mine. That isn't my approach.
उसका आंसर हिंदी में दे रही है, तो Hollywood में कोई नहीं सुनेगा. Clever you.
I swear I didn't think about it. It just happened. When you said, "Oh, तो अलग बात है," you said that, so I kind of went with that trend. No. God, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think about that, Shekhar. God, for Christ's sake, don't make me look like I plan everything, but I don't. No, I was just, like I said, I'd be happy to contribute to the Indian persona on the international platform. That's really it. And because actually it's tricky. I'm so safely cocooned here in the luxury of, apparently, like you said, I do have roles that I can choose. You know, films I can choose to belong to. I mean, it's just, it's a comfort zone.
You can also pretty much write your paycheck.
It's a comfort zone. Whereas there, fact is that I am a newcomer. And
you are known to drive a hard bargain.
Really? Oh God. Is that the reputation that precedes me?
That's a good reputation.
Well,
Nobody calls it gullible. Nobody says you can walk all over Aishwarya Rai. She's a star. She drives a hard bargain.
I'm a professional, and that's it. If I'm working as a professional in an industry, then it's good to be regarded as one, right?
That's a question that fascinates me. How come, I know some of it happens in Hollywood as well, but how come male stars have such a head start over women in Indian cinema? Now, I've raised this question with many of your sort of peers, and I've got different answers. One said, well, male stars also have to raise families, so it doesn't matter if they get paid more. And someone else said, well, it was always there, now it's changing. But no one has said to me, this is wrong, I'm going to change it. Will you say that?
You want me to say that? Will that be like highly sensational?
No, not sensational. You'll be
well, look.
You'll be a woman in your own right, and you make your own rules.
I don't think you need statements to reiterate that. I think without words doing that, I think in your conduct or the manner in which you work should be statement enough. You don't have to put it down to words.
You are willing to question that paradigm, that men must get paid much more than women for.
No, I'm saying that, look, I am aware that exists because that's the system I came into being a part of. I mean, when I came in here, it's not that this happened after the time that I came in. It's existed. That's been the way that it is. People have all their theories.
But you tell me, I mean, do you ever feel the glass ceiling when you're negotiating? Do you ever feel that, look, now I can go this far and no further because I'm
Because when I negotiate, I'm not negotiating on terms of being comparative to my male counterpart. I mean, I really work as a professional, would work in an industry. I mean, I myself, maybe my approach is devoid of gender, and my approach is purely as I, as a professional, would deem it befitting for me to quote what I should.
What was the James Bond story? Was there a story, not a story?
You know, there was just so much that I said after that that kind of made more of a story than that apparent speculation itself. And now it's gone on to be that even the James Bond himself, the actor has changed. And I don't think they've yet confirmed. So, it all came about with, supposedly there were representatives who came down to India to meet me with this, amongst a couple of other advertising proposals. And by the time they reached Nasik with Hari Singh ji, my manager, my secretary, I had met with the accident.
Delightful man, I've been chatting with him.
I had met with the accident. So, I never really got to meet them, but the press did get to know about it soon after, the entire hullabaloo that happened during my accident. And they knew that these guys had come down, and the next day headlines, and it took one paper, and then the whole place kind of kept asking me about this. And I said, look, I haven't met these guys. As far as I know, they were still at the scripting stage, and the rumor kind of could get the award for the longest lasting rumor whatsoever. It kind of just went on for a while, and after that we never really pursued any kind of talk. I just left it to my agents.
So
I said, get in touch with Eon Productions.
But if an offer like that came in future, will you be open?
Everything will be script, would be with regards to the script and the character that I'll be offered to.
Because it was also said that, you drew the line very firmly in terms of,
I was generally asked that question. It was not pertaining to specifically only the Bond film. I was generally asked about my comfort zone, and I said the way I have apparently, now when you talk about the term of drawing the line, the way I've always drawn the line with my comfort zone at various phases of my life, be it as a model, be it during my tenure, and during the time I've been here within the industry, I have always been very clear about my comfort zone, and obviously I guess that does change from time to time with experience.
And you see no reason now to make compromises, whether for the sake of Hollywood or whatever.
I evidently have never done that whatsoever, so I don't see any reason to do anything to make any alternative statement. I mean, I would say, like in the film Chaos, I will be playing a prostitute in the film. And it's a very gritty story. I mean, it's different. It's very interesting and a very on a very human, emotional level. But when the time comes to it, because we haven't yet started shooting, we'll be doing that. The filming will happen next year. But I will work with the director as to how we can go forth and how she can achieve what she has to. And at the same time, how I can work on it with bearing in mind my comfort zone. And I'm sure we'll work it out together.
When you go to Cannes, you are now a regular presence there. And you see the international circuit.
Regular.
What do you see there that makes you sometimes wish that Indian cinema had it?
No, it's not about whether Indian cinema had it. I don't
We had it here, either technology or ability or knowledge or money.
We have it all. What I don't know probably enough about is why so much of our cinema, whether it be independent filmmakers, whether it be students of cinema, short filmmakers, I haven't seen enough work coming out of here towards the festival. Maybe that hasn't been the complete area of interest, or I wouldn't know what are the the impediments people could be facing. I'm not aware of the system.
How many years do you think will it be before we win a real Oscar? We at least got a silver at the Olympics. When do we get in the Oscar zone? We got close.
Well, exactly. Well, we just need to have that much more when it comes to, if you talk about sports. So, well, I really think there's a lot of work where we need to stand by our youths and really need to encourage sports a lot more. We definitely have the population. We can easily, I think,
we can outnumber anybody.
Channel a lot of...
In sport, 11 play 11, unfortunately.
I think we can definitely channel a lot of our population towards serious training, and I think, as people, we can easily deliver.
Cinema. We do a lot of, we do more cinema than most people.
I think we should just aspire...
When do your films get into that quality
We should just continue aspiring towards effective, good cinema.
But where is the gap? Is the gap in technique? Is the gap in storylines?
I'm not someone who can make these huge statements, because I'm sorry, I think my industry will be quite disappointed if I make these huge, profound statements. I'm an actor.
Or is the gap between good quality films?
No, I think it all depends. It all depends on the direction of interest. Whether you're interested in the fact that this is an industry, and of course it is, and there a large section. There's so many lives that depend upon it. There's so many people working within this industry. You have to have it bringing in the money, and that's when the box office matters. Simply because it keeps the industry rolling. It really looks after so many people's lives in every sense of the term. Because look at the manpower within the industry and the amount of people who depend on on their daily wages around here.
And look at the number of people who just get a little bit of joy, maybe once a week or once a month when they watch a movie, in a very drab existence.
Walk the talk.
Everything you do is exposed to everybody. In fact, people will talk and write about what maybe doesn't even happen in your life.
Yeah.
What's it like to cope with this kind of attention?
I'm human, so I haven't managed to desensitize myself to it. I've just learned to gradually, I'm not even saying accept it, I don't always accept it. But it hurt a lot more before when because you'll end up reading something that bears no semblance to reality, and you'll be exasperated and you want to offer explanations and not know how to offer to so many people.
Sometimes it could also be close to reality. Right? But do you accept that once you are a big star, right? You make so many people's dreams. People buy the soap, you tell them to buy. People ride a car, you tell them to ride, right? So in that sense, your life also becomes public life. It's open to public.
That's what I mean. I mean, like you're saying this today to me, I must confess that, yeah, the time that I was even stepping in, when I was actually becoming a model, and people who saw promise in me then constantly said that, look, if you're going to be here, and a lot of people spoke about movies and celebrity right at that point itself. And I was given all this advice. So I was aware of what life would be like. A lot of people who had already experienced all of this would kind of be very generous with sharing their own little anecdotes. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't aware that this goes with being a public persona.
But stars
when
also,
you're there, it's always a first time.
But stars also are known to thrive on scandal. Not all, but some.
I'm glad you said that yourself.
Many.
Well, I'm not sure that, I mean, very evidently that doesn't apply to me.
But why have you been losing your cool with journalists lately? I believe,
have I?
People ask you questions, anything that looks like your personal life. When you're a star at this level,
Don't accuse me of losing my cool.
Very little is personal.
You know, it's very interesting when it's not about losing my cool, it's about being very liberal with my opinions. On one level, the media questions you about pretense. They ask you, are you pretending to be this personality, and is this veneer, and when is the veneer going to crack, and is there another person behind there? And when you just actually share your opinions, it starts becoming, oh my God, has it upset this person, or are you losing your cool? And there are all these adages constantly given, but the fact is that I've just always been myself. So if I have an opinion, and if we all know each other. The other thing is, there's so many people around here, members of the media, that you've gotten to know over time. So you just chat with them the way you otherwise would.
Look at Hollywood stars. Everything they do in their lives is open to media and public.
And there are publicists in between,
yes.
Right? I haven't got one, evidently. I haven't hired one. Otherwise, I think...
And they are the paparazzi, which we don't have much of either.
They have the paparazzi, and then you have the screening, and you've got a publicist, and a lot of people even here work that, but I never have.
You've had highs and lows in your personal life, but when you have them, particularly when you have the lows, and the media comes calling, and there's a lot of writing and speculation, how do you feel?
Right from the outset, I always said that I am
as long as they're factual?
Right from the beginning, I always said that I'm here by virtue of my work. And yes, you guys conduct interviews, and you all do get to know about other aspects of our life, be it student life, or what made us come here, and why have we chosen to do this. But I had always maintained my personal life to be precisely that, personal. And I don't see any reason to alter or change that with time, because it might seem more sensational, and I've always laughed and said that if I have to, then my autobiography could be worth the reading when it be written. It's as simple as that.
Well, when will that be? That should be an interesting one, a real bestseller, huh?
Well, eventful.
The enterprise platform for boundaryless banking from Polaris. Max New York Life Insurance, your partner for life. Indian Airlines, let your heart fly. And Sangani Diamond Jewelry.
Outside of the world of cinema and glamour, what is Aishwarya Rai like? What do you read?
You're just talking to her right now, when she's not shooting.
This is the world of glamour and cinema. But what is it that you read? What is it that makes you happy? What is it that makes you angry? Is it Bush invading Iraq?
Well, okay. I wish I'd read more. I don't read enough. I hardly read. In fact, what I'm probably maximum reading is scripts. And that's one thing I definitely want to develop.
Rejecting most of them.
Come on.
1 out of 20, huh?
Oh, oops. No, you feel bad when you're saying no to a script, because you can see that it's someone's passion, someone's worked really hard in writing it, and probably months, years. So it is difficult.
What else is it that you'd like to read?
Just all those incredible books and novels. There's just so much to read. I mean,
What was the good one you read last, whenever it was?
See, meow. I'll tell you very honestly, I haven't read enough. That's why I said I'd really like to read. I'd really like to read a lot more. I've picked up, in where you pick up Illusion by Richard Bach, we pick up this more spiritual, the more road less traveled kind of books, where you just open, and you read a certain page, you feel good, and get on with life. So that's the kind of reading that I've done in recent times.
What makes you angry when you open the morning's newspaper?
Now you're getting me started. There are just so many things. I mean, it's very, very unfortunate when people are manipulated in the name of religion. It's infuriating. The number of stories the number of stories on rape, and you're just seeing kids kind of being party to or participating in this act. I mean, it's horrifying. It's really, really very, very upsetting. I think our papers just have so many such stories which just get you really, really upset. I think it just keeps the adrenaline pumping through the day. There's just so many issues in the world.
What makes you happy?
Makes you realize that is life, that's reality.
What makes you happy when you open the day's paper besides big pictures of yourself?
Meow. You are a devil. Some gratifying stories, if they be, they're very few, and they're very far in between. Probably, I don't know even there if it's
True or made up, huh?
I'm sure there's a lot of truth, but I'm sure it also makes for extremely. That's the other joke that kind of goes around within our own media circles about how that makes for so much more. It's like movies. I think when it's so sensational, it's like our lives. If it's sensational, it excites people.
Do you remember a happy story that you cherish, that made you feel good, apart from the lone silver at
Invariably, I think what draw. You don't know whether you're sounding happy about it or whether you're lamenting.
I'm very happy.
Of course, we're happy about that
Gujarat Talk
victory.
was on Walk the Talk and a great hit.
No, but yeah.
In fact, that was the only Walk the Talk which I concluded with a hug.
Oh,
Because
okay.
It was so nice, and it was so nice to see the man, salt of the earth, soldier.
Well, yeah, wonderful.
No, so tell me, what is it that made you happy last time? When you saw the paper and said, look, something good's happening in India, or something good's happening in the world.
Well, it's a trick question because invariably I think what draws my attention to are all the really, really unfortunate stories. There are the articles where you have our political figures promising a change, growth in our country, which is promising, which makes you feel something to look forward to. And just like any other citizen, you wait in anticipation.
Well, dude, so does it mean we see you somewhere near politics one of these days? Looking 10 years ahead, following Anil Ambani now?
Look, I'm just a regular citizen like you. You cover political stories because your country means to you.
All of the
so it's as
Bombay's
simple
glamour
as
crowd,
that.
that's what we need in Parliament now.
I wasn't part of this time's elections whatsoever. I'd be as interested in the well-being of my country as you would be. It's as simple as that. And I, at this point in time, have never thought of any such thing, of being an active participant in politics whatsoever. But I'm definitely an interested citizen, as you would be, as simple as you would be.
Let's conclude on that note.
Okay.
Beautiful, fun, sensitive, but never confuse you. Nobody should ever confuse you with a wax statue. Huh?
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.